Hey, Fit Party Me community, it's Coach Des. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm so happy it's Friday. This week has been quite the busy one, so I'm definitely looking forward to some fun in R&R this weekend, and I hope you guys are as well. So I wanted to get together with you guys today on our lunch break, so hope everyone's taking a nice little lunch break from work. I know I am. And I wanted to talk to you today about being defined by the scale. Ooh, the dreaded scale. A lot of people think about the scale and get a lot of anxiety. I don't think that, there's a lot of people out there that say, oh my goodness, I can't wait to weigh myself today. Can't wait to jump on that scale. It can be pretty intimidating and can be very scary. So I want to talk about that. What does it mean being defined by the scale? And I'll tell you, I'm a person speaking from personal experience that definitely was defined by the scale. And what I mean by that is if you're starting a fitness journey, whether you're taking a fitness challenge this month, a bunch of us are doing the 30 Days to Healthy Living Challenge, you're curious to see how you're doing along the way. And a lot of times we measure that success by the numbers that are on the scale. So being defined by the scale is if you're only really relying on the scale to tell you how well you're doing. And that's a problem. That's a problem because the scale lies. Yes, people, the scale lies to us at times. I don't know how many times I would start a program and be gung-ho and I would do everything to the T. I would follow the meal plan, I would do the workouts, and in my mind, as I'm getting, towards Friday, because I would weigh myself on Fridays, I would be really, really excited. Like, man, I did really well this week. I'm going to get on that scale. I have a feeling I lost 2 to 3 pounds. And I'd get on that scale and it would say 0.5. What is 0.5? In your mind, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I worked so hard just to lose a 0.5. Or what if even worse? You gained a pound. Then you're thinking, oh my gosh, I worked out for nothing. I gained a pound. I'm throwing my hands up. That's it. I can't do this. That's why it's bad to rely on the scale. And I'll tell you why. Our bodies are very different and they fluctuate throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, so much that scale is not going to be able to tell you every single thing that's going on within your body. For example, I know that when I start a program, when I first start a new program, let's say I'd fallen off track, because there's times in my past where I have fallen off track. I'm at that point in my life now where I'm very, very focused and very on track on this weight loss journey. But there were times in the past where I would fall off track, I would gain weight. Actually, and I've mentioned this before in my videos, when it went so bad and I fell off the track so bad, I ended up gaining so much weight. I stepped on that scale and it said 224. And I just remember staring at it like, is this for real? When did this happen? I can't believe this. And I would be like, all right, I got to start. I got to do this. And I would start a program and I would get on the scale and it's like the first week, not much. Second week, gain. It's like, what is going on? I'm thinking I'm doing everything right, but the scale's not doing anything for me. So over time, I learned that my body is just the type of person or type of body that tends to gain first because my body wants to build the muscle first to fight the fat. That's just how my personal body is. And so I know when I'm starting that I'm probably going to gain for the first week or two. And now that I understand that, I don't freak out. I don't sit there and say, oh my gosh, I gained. It's kind of like I just know my body. And it's taken me a while to get there. And that's why I think partnering up with a coach is so important, because a coach can get with you to go through your own personal needs. And one of those personal needs is getting to know your body, getting to know when maybe during the month you might just put on 3 to 5 extra pounds just because of water weight or bloating. And it might have nothing to do with what you're eating. So getting to know the different cycles that you go through, getting to know your body and when it's going to gain and when it's going to lose is important, because if you're just going by what that number is on the scale and letting it define your success, you're going to already feel like you failed. And in fact, a lot of times you're going to give up and say, you know what, this is not working. I tried. I did my best. I tried the hardest and nothing's moving on the scale. All right. So my advice to you is to just get rid of it. Now, I'm not saying go ahead and throw it out the window. Find a place in your house where you can actually hide that scale. And I would say that, let it stay there for a while and take a deep breath. I know that sounds crazy, but if you're defining success by just on that scale, it's not enough. It's not enough because it can't measure what's going on inside your body. It can only tell you how much you weigh. So like your body can be going through all these amazing changes, inside that you don't even realize because the scale's telling you gained a pound, right? It's good to use as a guide. Guides are very important. So it's good to use as a guide. Right now we're doing the 30 Days to Healthy Living program. So I tell my people, look, this is what I want you to do. Weigh yourself on day 1 and weigh yourself on day 30. It's that easy. You don't have to worry about weighing yourself every day, weighing yourself every week, because if you're following the program, you're going to have success, right? So we don't need to measure our success by what the scale says because we know that the changes are happening inside and out, right? So we don't need to visit that scale every day to tell us we're doing a good job. That's what our team is for. That's what our coach is. We root each other on. We don't need a scale. And let me tell you something interesting. So today was funny. I was actually talking the other week to someone about, when you go online and you Google like what your weight range, your healthy weight range should be. So I was talking about this to someone, I think it was last week. And it's amazing, like the weight ranges they give. Like for example, so I'm 5'5". The recommended weight, I guess, per this site, and I'm sure sites vary, but one of the sites had said that for my height, for 5'5", I should be anywhere between 114 pounds and 144. And I laughed at that. I laughed hysterical. And the reason why I laughed at that is because a few years ago, when I was in shape, I want to say the lowest I was maybe between 135 and 140, I think it was. And it was funny because everybody kept telling me the same thing. You're too skinny. And it was funny because they were right because I just looked really skinny, like almost to the point where it was too much, like someone might say, hey, could you eat something? And it's funny because per this recommended weight range, I was within range, but it didn't look good on me. It also didn't feel good on me, So right now, like it's funny because my weight loss goal today, now that I'm wiser and I've learned from my journey, is 150. Now it's funny because this same website, it says that 150 is overweight, which is interesting because when I am at 150, I feel good. I have more energy. I feel good inside and out. I feel like my clothes fit great. I look good, so I'm like, I don't need to be defined by what someone's telling me that I should weigh, that I should be in this range, that the scale should say this number for me to be accepted or at acceptable weight. I think that's just crap. I really do. And you shouldn't be defined by numbers or what anything, someone says you should be within this range because you know what? You're an individual, you're beautiful, you're unique, and you don't fit in a box. We have to stop putting people into categories and telling them that you should look like this, you should feel like this. Everybody's different. We do not fit in a box. And that's why I have this battle with that scale because if you think about it, most scales, we've got round scales, but a lot of scales are that box, and it's putting you in a box when you're saying, you know what, I'm going to define my success by what number is on there. Don't do it anymore. Say goodbye to that. Okay. Like I said, hide that scale, hide it somewhere where you don't feel tempted to get on it. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys some tips. The best thing to do when you're starting a new program, because we do want to kind of measure and see if what we're doing is working, right? We don't want to just, try to eat healthy and exercise and then never really measure that, right? Because then you can find out if maybe you're not doing something right by looking at different things. But again, to define it just by the scale is no good. So what I suggest, and this is what I do for the people that do my program's the 30 Days to Healthy Living. And what I like about the 30 Days to Healthy Living program is it's such a proven and amazing program, the way that you're eating so clean. And also the products that you get to go along with it just enhance that, and it's all natural products, vegan products, gluten-free, all the nasty stuff that you find in our everyday foods are not in this. So everything is very safe, it's pure, it's beneficial, a lot of it is plant-based. And that's going to heal you from inside out. So a lot of those changes are going to be happening inside. And like I said, if you're just stepping on the scale's not going to tell you what's changing inside. So what I tell anyone that does the program with me, I tell them, hey, weigh yourself on day 1, weigh yourself on day 30. The good thing about this program, you don't have to count any calories. As long as you're following the program and the guide, you don't have to do any of this crazy stuff that drives you crazy, counting calories, worrying about this and what the scale says, right? Weigh yourself on day 1, weigh yourself on day 30. That's it. And it's funny because people ask me, hey, Des, I see your posts, you look great. How much have you lost? And you know what's funny? I'm like, well, I haven't weighed myself in a few weeks, so, I'll let you know the next time I weigh myself. And it's so freeing and amazing when you can actually say that, and you can say, like, I'm not defining my success by what the scale says. And it really makes you feel empowered, right? So also what I tell people to do, take your measurements. That is so important because a lot of times you're going to lose inches. And again, you're going to get on that scale and it's going to say you haven't lost anything, but you're going to measure yourself and say, oh my gosh, I've lost all these inches. So if you want to measure yourself weekly, that's perfectly fine. Because a lot of times you're going to see changes in your measurements before you see changes on the scale. And again, everybody's different. Some people, hey, their first week, they might lose a lot of weight on the scale, because you're drinking more water, you're not holding in all that water, you're flushing things out, so you might have this huge weight loss where for someone else, it might be like my situation where your body's making the changes first. So the scale's not really showing that. But then over time, over that 30 days, you're like, wow, look at this. And if you look at my before and after pictures from the 30 day, you'll see it. I laugh at people and I tell them that my toxins must have all been living in my belly because literally like the first picture is belly, like the next picture is this flat belly. And again, that might not have shown on that scale that entire journey, but the pictures don't lie. So that's another thing too. Take some photographs. Take some photographs of yourself. Pictures do not lie. And it's a good way to step outside of yourself, because a lot of times, and I was talking to someone about this the other day, it's funny because when I lost the weight, so remember I started at 224. When I lost the weight and, was reaching goal and getting closer, I still saw myself as a bigger person. It's like so crazy how sometimes our mind just sees us as still that other person. And I know I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people have expressed that to me and said, hey, Des, I know my clothes are fitting better. I feel better, but I'm still seeing the old me. I just can't see myself as this new person. And it takes time. It really, really does. It takes time. But if you're taking pictures, it's a good way to see you outside of yourself. That's actually how I knew that I had to lose weight in the first place, because I had seen a picture of myself that a friend took. It was a bunch of us. It was a beautiful picture. And I just looked at myself and said, my goodness, how did I let myself go? And it was kind of the wake-up call I needed, just seeing myself, because I guess I hadn't seen myself that I was that bad. And then now, losing the weight, and not being able to see the skinnier you. I don't really like using the word skinnier because, again, it's not about being skinny, but I guess a better word would be the healthier me. So I knew I was healthier, but it's like I couldn't see that healthier Des in my mind until I started looking at pictures. And then I was like, okay, I see it. It's there. It's real. It's tangible. So I definitely encourage you, take photographs. Photographs are fantastic, and don't be shy. If you're the type of person that you're like, I just can't share my before and after picture with people, that's understandable. It actually took a lot for me to share mine. skin. I mean, I was wearing like a sports bra and I think shorts, and like that was a big thing for me to actually post that on social media because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but mainly because I'm just not comfortable in like showing off my body. And it's not necessarily like showing it off, but like it just was totally outside my comfort zone. But I'm happy that I did it. For one thing, stepping out of my comfort zone, I could see something tangible, like, okay, I can see the results. And then it also inspired others too to say, hey, look, you know what? I want to give this a try too. And I want to be brave and put my before and after pictures out there. If you're not at that level, that's totally okay. But I do encourage you to take before and after pictures for you, personally for you. And make sure that you're taking a long picture of your entire self. One of the things I regret is when I was 224, I actually have no pictures of me, I want to say below the waist. Really, it's just, I want to say maybe from the waist up. So I don't really have any pictures to show you like the full, like when I was at 224, like exactly the full body of what I looked like. So I do encourage you, take a picture of the full body from the front, from the side, and then as you're going through your journey, start comparing your photos and you're going to see it. So like I said, if it's not showing on the scale, you're going to see it in pictures. You're going to see it in measurements, right? You're going to see it when you're taking your measurements. Another fun thing I did with, which I mentioned on another call that I think is a great idea, is I always tell people, go by the fit of your clothes. So I did this kind of thing called the jean challenge. I don't know if that's a real challenge. I just kind of decided this was something I was going to do. I'm one of those people that literally have to try on jeans because, my bottom half of the body is just so interestingly shaped that I couldn't just grab my size jeans and assume it fits. Like literally I have to try on like jeans because every style and every size fits me different. So it's like funny. I have like so many different sizes of jeans depending upon the style. And the other day I had seen a commercial where it said, that when they measure people for jeans or something, they only measure like 2 spots like on your body. And I'm just like, how is that even possible? I'm like, that's why jeans don't fit me, because I'm telling you, like the upper half of my leg is completely different from the lower half of my leg. And then I have, obviously the booty. So which is a little larger than most. So it's just interesting buying jeans. I have to make sure they fit. So what I did was I think I want to say I started at size 16. I have to go back in my notes. I take notes because I have a really hard time remembering stuff from from a little while back. But it was funny. What I did was I went out and I didn't buy anything expensive. We know jeans can get pricey because I knew that I was on this journey and I was going to be losing weight, and maybe in a month or two I didn't need those jeans anymore. So I really didn't want to spend anything expensive. And guys, we know what stores we can go to get cheap jeans, right? So my goal was to buy a bunch of cheap jeans in various sizes. So what I did was I bought like a 16, a 14, a 12, an 8. And that's what I did. And I used that as like my goal, my measurement. And let me tell you, it was a lot of fun. And if anyone knows the struggle of getting into jeans, so I'll just describe it for you. So like, obviously the 16, you buy your first jean, make it a jean that, fits you, right? So you have something just as a motivation. Okay, I have this new pair of jeans. It's my size. Yay, right? And then you buy the next size down. So I remember when I started trying to put the next size down on, it's funny because you try to wriggle it on and maybe you get it like halfway up your legs. So you're like, okay, today I got it halfway. I'm going to try in another week or two, see how far I can get it. Then you might be able to get it all the way to your butt. And you're like, okay, so I know I'm making progress because I couldn't get it to my butt 2 weeks ago. Now it's up to my butt. Then you can get it over your butt and you get really excited. You're like, oh my gosh, I got these jeans over my butt. But you can't zipper it, right? You can't button it. You can't zipper it. Then after a while, you're able to zipper it, but it's really tight and you can't button it. And you're like, okay, I know I made progress, but these jeans are still not comfortable. And then after a while, finally, you can zipper it up, you can button it. And that amazing feeling, like, I don't know what it is, but it's just an amazing feeling when you can actually fit into a smaller size of jeans. So that's what I was doing. And I was just doing it throughout the journey. And it was a lot of fun. And then my recommendation is once you get out of that big jeans, get rid of it. Don't throw it out though. Donate it or give it to a friend, because you don't want to have that as your safety net. And I'll be the first one to admit I kept them as my safety net. I really did, because in my mind I'm thinking, well, what happens if I gain weight? Then I need jeans to fit into. I admit I was guilty of that, but I do encourage you. They're no longer with me. I did finally get rid of them. But I do really encourage you as soon as you can to let them go. Because if you've got that safety net, that in case you gain weight, you at least have something to fall back on, you may do that. You may actually gain that weight and have to put those bigger size jeans on. And we don't want to do that. We want to keep moving forward. And I know you guys can do it. I know you guys can do it. So here are kind of my tips and takeaways from today. So if you're doing your program, your 30 Days to Healthy Living, maybe you're just taking a workout challenge with one of the coaches, take your measurements. If you're doing a 30-day program, day 1 and day 30, okay? If you're halfway through the program and you're like, you're just itching, I'll allow it. But remember, you need to have the power over the scale. Don't let the scale have the power over you. The more times that you're letting it rule you and call you to get on it, you're giving that scale the power. And let me tell you, you may not feel powerful right now. I know that when I was at 224, I couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs without getting winded. I couldn't fit in my clothes. I felt depressed. I didn't feel very powerful. So you might be sitting here and being like, okay, this is easier said than done, but I don't feel very powerful. First, I want to tell you that it's okay, okay? It's normal. I felt that way. A lot of people felt that way. But what's not good is to stay in that. If you stay in that depressive state, if you stay in that woe is me, I can't believe I let this happen, because I don't know how many times I tell myself, oh, how did I let this happen to myself? I can't believe this, and I just beat myself up for it. Stop doing that. You can't continue to do that, because it's not going to get any better if you don't take the steps to move forward. Okay? And that's why we're here, because we've been there. We've been the people that have failed on the road, or maybe had a major setback. Some of us have had, major medical setbacks, but you can come back from that. You really can. And the coaches are here to show you how you can do that. And it's funny, because early in my life, I always thought like going to somebody for help or going to a coach, it just wasn't my thing. I'm like, I can do this on my own. I don't need anybody. I've been like that for most of my life, where I feel like, well, I can do this on my own. I don't really need anyone, this and that. But I'm going to tell you right now, my life changed when I started actually opening up to people and getting help on my fitness journey. Because here are people that have been there, they can relate, they can guide you, I've been there, I can relate, I can guide you. And like I said, everybody's different. If you're just reading stuff online and trying to do things on your own, what I don't like about that is, again, there's a lot of these sites online that are trying to put you in a box. You're supposed to weigh this much, you're supposed to fit in this category, and coaches don't do that. They sit one-on-one with you and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, Jeanette. Hey, Jim. What's going on? Tell me about your life. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what your goals are. That's what we do, because we understand that not everybody's the same. Not everybody's body is the same. Not everybody's weight loss journey is the same. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a journey. Don't look at it as, oh my gosh, this is like painful and horrible, I'm not looking forward to this. Look at it as a journey. And that brings me to my next point. Take it day by day, okay? Just wake up in the morning and say, what can I do today to make me better than what I did yesterday? And if you just focus on that day and don't concentrate so much on the overall. I always think it's great. I talked about making a vision board or making a goal board. Those are fantastic, and you should keep them close to you. But during this journey, I don't want you so much focus on, the overall all the time. I want you to take it step by step. Take it day by day. What can you do today to better yourself from yesterday? And if you just concentrate on each day, you won't feel so overwhelmed. Set small goals, Okay, don't look at, oh my gosh, I have 100 pounds to lose. That's a huge goal. It really is. But you can do it if you break that up. Maybe you're going to concentrate, you know what? I just want to lose the first 5 pounds. Okay, my first goal is to lose 5 pounds. And when I lose 5 pounds, I'm going to celebrate. That brings me to my next point. Celebrate how far you've come. I think one of the biggest things that I see in my groups with people, especially people that have to lose, I have people that have to lose just 5 pounds, 10 pounds, but I see it a lot with the people that have to lose more than 50 pounds. And I was one of those people, so I totally understand that. Is they'll lose like 10 pounds, and instead of concentrating on that and focusing on that, they'll focus on, oh, but I have 60 left to go. Or I've still got 50 more pounds. How am I going to do this? And again, I was one of those people. So I feel like I can speak to this, and it's okay for me to say that, because I was one of those people where I was like, 224, going from 224 to 150. I'm like, that's a lot of weight. But you have to celebrate the small goals. Set the small goals, whether they're 5 to 10 pounds, and celebrate. Say, wow, I lost 5 to 10 pounds. And that's amazing. And now I'm on my journey to lose the next 5 to 10 pounds. And don't focus too much on, I have, 100 left, or I have this much left. Start with the small goals. Take it day by day. Don't be defined by the scale. Use other ways to measure. Also, a great way to measure your success, especially when you're doing the 30 Days to Healthy Living program, because a lot of changes are happening inside, is to actually document what those changes are. Like, for example, I was sleeping better, my headaches were gone, my digestion was better, I had more energy, I was thinking clearer. Also, too, I have a bad knee, my right knee, so sometimes if I do high intensity workouts, for example, I just came off doing 2 months of Insanity. It aggravates my knee a little bit. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I have an old injury there, and I also have I had suffered from low vitamin D, and so I get problems with my knees and my ankles at times, and so it got aggravated from those programs a little bit. And I remember doing the 30 Days to Healthy Living for the first time, and it was like, took all of that pain and fluid, whatever fluid was building up, and kind of like flushed that out. So all these changes that happen inside, sometimes we forget to focus on that because we're so focused on that number on the scale. So I encourage you, keep a diary, write down everything you're feeling, how good you're feeling. For example, I was talking about walking up a flight of stairs and getting winded. Start noticing those things. Maybe like a month or two in your journey have gone by and you said, hey, you know what? I'm still getting winded, but not as winded, right? And then maybe like 6 months down the road, maybe you're jogging up those stairs. Remember to focus on those achievements as well, because those achievements are so important. And sometimes I feel like that's even more important than that number, how you're feeling. And like I said, this website I was looking at was telling me that 150 is overweight. But guess what? I feel great at 150. I'm able to run upstairs. I don't get winded. I'm energized. My clothes are fitting. I don't need to be what someone says that I need to be. I need to be me. And I encourage all of you to be you at all times, no matter what. And I know the journey isn't easy. I think the hardest part sometimes is just getting started. But you can do it. I promise you can do it. What I will say, if you don't ever start, it's going to be very difficult to get there. So here is my message for you today. Don't be putting yourself in a box. Don't be defined by numbers. You can do this. You can take that step forward. We are here to help you on that journey, your personal journey, because your journey is more personable. Everybody's journey is unique, right? Everyone's journey is unique. So take that into this week